Here's question 5, which should have been question 4, but that's okay. Now we're looking for anything that will result in a zero change or end up with 0 at the end. Now what that means is not did something happen or not? Yes. We're not saying nothing happened. What we're saying is, did something happen and then another thing happened that brought us back to where we started? To the same position, to the same amount of money that we started with. Now, I know we had a question a couple times. I mentioned a football player, say he loses 5 yards, then he loses 7. Well, he lost 12 yards. And the question was, what does he need to do to go back to where he started, where his team started? Well, he would have to gain 12 yards or add 12 yards because he lost 12. Well, negative 12 plus 12 would be 0. Okay, so let's look at each question. Let's look at A. John, here's John. Let's meet John. He's on the ground. He's going to run up a hill right here, let's say 20 yards. Now, as we continue reading the question, John runs 20 yards up a hill and then runs up another 15 yards. That means he went up here. So now John is way up here. Did he run up and come back down? No. He kept going. So there's not a 0 change here. So A would not be one of our choices. Okay, let me cross that out even more. Now let's look at the second question. Mike lends his brother $30. Now, when you've lent somebody money, you're minus that amount, right? So you would be negative 30. Then his brother pays him back. So what happens when you get money or put money in your wallet or your purse? Well, you're adding that money. So what's negative 30 plus 30? Well, you get 0. Now, if I was to take this and switch their places along with their signs, well, I would get 30. I can go ahead and get rid of the positive sign, or I can write it if I want, just to represent that it's positive. Minus 30. Well, that makes it a little easier to see. What's 30 minus 30? 0. So, right here we have a 0 change. B would be one of our choices. Now, let's look at the last one. Luz borrows $45 from her friend. So she has $45. She helps her dad at his job, earns some money, and repays her friend. So now she gives that money back. So she borrowed 45 and paid back 45. You could look at it that she had 45, and then when she paid it back, she's negative. Or she's $45 in debt to her friend, made some money, and paid her back, and she's at 0 in both. So again, this one has a 0 change, so C works. So we want to make sure that we look, okay, is there a change? Did it come back? Now, if there's an increase and then another increase and it never comes back to where it started, then there's not a 0 change. Okay, right here, which of the following is the same as negative 3 minus a negative 5? Now, negative 3 minus a negative 5, well, I see 2 negatives, I make them positive. This is the same as negative 3 plus 5. Now, A is in parentheses, but it's still the same thing. So A is one of my answers. If I look at B, negative 3 minus a positive 5, that's not the same. This, I'll mark in red, this is not one of my choices. C is positive 3 plus a negative 5. Well, right away I can tell you that's not one of my choices because I start with a negative 3. So I'll mark it in red. The other way is, let me work out my problem. What is negative 3 plus 5? Well, that would be the same as 5 minus 3. Remember, we can change their positions around. Whoops. Let me put that how it should be. I get 2. So what's negative 3 minus 5? Well, you borrow 3, you borrow 5, you borrowed 8 total. What about 3 plus a negative 5? Well, that's the same as 3 minus 5. So, you have $3, you spent 5, you end up with negative 2. Or, same thing if we use the number line. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1. Put a few lines down here. And I'll start at 3. There's my dot. 1, 2, 3, including the 0, 4, 5. Here's negative 1. So my answer would be negative 2. There's a couple ways to look at it. So you'll have a question like this on the test, and what you're looking for is which one is the same value once you complete the work. not which one looks exactly the same. So you want to have the exact same value, okay? So next problem will be question 7, 8, and 9. I know we went over these in class, but again, if you need to see it again, it'll be right here for you, okay?